Zilas at the end of the zone on Macross. The heat was hard in every direction as the soft aliens played in the mud that permeate their soul on the edge of Jupiter. They handle the course in your mode of time, in of our fragile minds that display a unique feeling of worth. In the existence of parallel knowings, they offer the insight of knowledge to the dependent ones at the acre of sense. Through the vision window we see the new beings. An isolated adventure in complete form, resistance of the few that calculate dominance, the threads that bind us together, slipping through the cracks at the Abadabble building at the Onks, lay tether in the awakening junction, with feelings in hand. The coil, the service, the reserve, the wanting, the void, the light, as they listen careful to the sign of movement in their mind, stride forth in pseudo-style at the name, at the complex of Ode. Zeus and Shelach on odiment ground at the Sabater. Zilas in the temple of game we see the fine grain of the film, their long minds at the galvanized junction with Zext, a gesture from the great face of the notion of language. The cordial of the strong man in his uniform at the grid. Reach out for the chosen one at the bank, at the river, the quiet loudness that enhances your reality, prelude to association and connection of. Elonk in the basement of terror, the glistening treasures, sought of the mind in a fashionable way of the day. The tracks I make toward the throne in my mystic style. The undead are talking to me in whispers. Listen to activate their narrative on frequency, casting between the lame and the incoherent on the shores of the mighty cocks. They glow in fascination of the durable fox that sits on the hunt in the seal at the symbol at the court of the Psyche's temple. There is a meaning. At the court of the Psyche's temple there is a meaning. For those who are summoned to the original ideas, at the court of the Psyche's, at the court of the sixth temple there is a meaning. There is a meaning for those who are summoned to the original idea. 9 pipes at the separation leans toward them, kings and dukes on the operating table with swords. The displacement of ordinary. Say the purpose of the ancients with red and white stripes. Bars at the gate, at the steps of the elevated, slipping away to the arithmetic of the matter and the conscious depth. Lost in the black coat, in the design blast, in the pace of the race to themselves, in the broad spectrum. On the foothills of discovery alone, on the wolf-line Queen Safari. Engulf the magic of yourself in aquarium rush off the edge of Pluto, the angelic joint in the throb. The ideas of the dread of the drones at the quarter in quiescence. At the quarter with the opulent guys, threading stitches in the sky that detail the man with the iron face, secluded in the subway in a mind that I had to find with the man. These speak his right with the numerical one and the descendant of June, dressed to the king and queen of the United A-stars on the sleeve of Alabama. Splashes of reality in my device of decisive concern and continuum of I, the embodiment of wit and circumstance, incision of you. The impression of Josie wells of knowledge, of pursuit, of cure, the radical outlet and response of question and succession of the lonely guy. The pleasure of her face in the distant sunlight, the morals of time, the reflection of art, the cool of armour, the presence of electric green, the worship of yourself in engagement with the sense of the source. Black, souls. I thought that I'd have a go at that. I actually wrote that quite a long time ago. I think I wrote that in 2015. I wrote that in 2015, and I actually had a go at that about a year and a half ago. I was still a bit fumbly and didn't do too well. I didn't get through even half of that, and I had been thinking about it recently. Actually, the past 2 days when I've been doing some editing with another video that I've been I was putting together another video, but over the last 48 hours, and that one came to mind, and I thought I'll have another go at that. I think maybe I can do all right with that now. So yes, I wanted to give that a go, and do well with that. I wanted to give that a go. Yes, indeed. Yes, very good. And see how that turned out very soon when I play it back. Midnight Charlie Man, Midnight Quarter.